On the way to work, I normally listen to the replay of the WGBH midday show with Jim and Marjorie. They do like a 3-hour show every day, and it's pretty entertaining. I find both of them pretty easy to listen to. They aren't overly insufferable as far as radio show hosts. It's a live show when it's play, but at night I'm listening to the replay. And on Monday nights, they tend to have Irene Monroe and Emmett Price on. Both of these people are reverends. They're pastors. And they have a perspective both from a religious standpoint, also from the fact that both of them are black, and Irene is a married lesbian. So they have a very different perspective for the world than I do, and so I enjoy listening to them. And they have a call-in where they talk to Jim and Marjorie, and they discuss topics and stuff. And I find the dynamic between the four of them very entertaining and quite enlightening. But the other day when I was going to work on a Monday night, they didn't play that. They just played the podcast that Irene and Emmett do, which is called All Revved Up. Okay, fine. I'll listen to a good podcast. The 10 minutes take me to get to work. And 15 minutes probably. But I found myself in severe disagreement with them in a way that I've never felt disagreement with any opinion they've ever expressed before. And I was kind of aghast that both very intelligent modern people as well as religious leaders would hold the ideas in their mind that they were presenting to the world. I missed the first section of the podcast, but apparently at some point Irene opened a door to allow someone to go through as an act of courtesy. Okay, done it myself 1,000 times. I've held doors opened them. I've held doors open behind me so someone can come through. Done it 1,000 times. I do it all the time. It is rare when I'm going out in the world. Well, when I was going out in the world, I've kind of on a personal lockdown again, that I would not do this. All right? So I expect nothing from them. Nothing. But Irene was upset because the white woman going through the door didn't say thank you. So that's one of the things that happened. And then Emmett comments about the fact that he sees all the time, he sees people walking around with these just grumpy, mean-spirited faces on. You just know that they're inside, that they're all twisted up about something. And I was aghast. Now, maybe it's the fact that I've read somewhat extensively about Buddhism. And from a philosophical point of view, I have a lot of respect for Buddhism. I'm not a religious Buddhist, but I do have a lot of respect for the philosophy that Buddhism is founded upon. But both of these people, who are religious leaders and who are supposed to understand this, are showing me an incredibly ugly face to the world. You don't know what someone else's struggle is. You don't know the burden they carry. You don't know the weight on their shoulders. So if you find their facial expression, if you can see a facial expression right now with the masks all over the world, but if you see someone's facial expression and you think that it's down, that it's depressed, that it's a negative, guess what? None of your goddamn business. None. As the old saying goes, none your business. And it isn't. You don't know what's going on in their life. Now, when I walk around with a neutral facial expression, this is not a friendly face. Okay? That's just my face. And I've had people question my state of mind because of my face, even though there's nothing going on at the moment that is causing me any distress. Okay, or more distress than I normally have because, again, I suffer from mental illness. But I actually had a boss once tell me that I was intimidating my fellow coworkers because of my facial expression, and he required me to smile. Now, at the time in my life, deeply lost in anxiety, depression, and PTSD, I just added this to the list of crap I had to deal with because That's what the world gave me. So I smiled. If you think that's a smile of that lacks sincerity, you would be correct. Um, but it got my boss off my ass. Now, in retrospect, uh, anyone asking someone else to do that is monstrous. You're asking a clinically depressed person to smile so that the coworkers aren't upset at their natural facial expression. But the same thing is going on in this podcast. Emmett, you got no right to someone else's joyous appearance. You got no right to even know what's going on in their life. So don't give me this shit about you think they're all grumpy. And Irene, you're upset because someone didn't say thank you because you did a gesture of kindness and you didn't receive a reciprocation? Then it wasn't a gesture of kindness. It wasn't an act of altruism. It just wasn't. If you do something and expect something in return, then you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for them. You're not actually concerned about that other person. You're concerned about yourself. You want something. If you want something, that's not normally a good thing. If that you think you're being generous, but you're not. If it's about your ego, how is being kind to another? It's just messed. It's messed up. That's not an act of kindness. It's just another act of ego. Now, the other person may take it as an act of kindness, but apparently if you don't get the little, endorphin boost from their thanks, you're not happy. Does that mean you won't do it next time? I'm going to keep holding doors open. I see somebody struggling with something, I'm going to ask them if they need help. I've offered help to people all the time. I see something struggling with something, even though I'm walking around with a brazen, I'm a gimp. If I think I can help somebody, I'll offer it to them. I helped somebody carry a compressor one day because he was struggling with it by himself. Pretty damn big compressor. I was impressed that he was trying to move it by himself. I helped him get it to his truck. And he was just shocked that someone would offer that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't make a big deal of it because it wasn't. But I didn't expect anything from him. I didn't expect money. I didn't expect a thank you. Because if I did, I wasn't doing it for him. I was doing it for me. Now, I've heard it argued that there is no such thing as altruism, that altruism comes out of a sense of ego, that we do things for others in the hopes that we will feel better about ourselves. Maybe that's true. Maybe even if the other person was not present, you're doing something that a person you're never going to see is going to benefit from. Maybe you're kind of doing it to make yourself feel better. Okay, I think that there's an argument for that. And I'm okay with doing things for others that I'm never going to benefit from. The whole concept of just making a gesture, paying it forward, I'm all right with that. I'm not saying I pay for it all the time, though we do make monthly donations, but I like to do things when I can. But if you're expecting someone else to performatively be pleasant around you or show you a facial expression that makes you feel better, that's not a healthy worldview. And if you're holding a door for somebody and then upset that the person doesn't say thank you, even if we take into account the racial dynamic of a black woman and a white woman, the whole thing, I understand that. But you still shouldn't expect a thank you. Because if you're expecting it, I like to give gifts. Finding gifts is a game for me. I enjoy it. It's one of the reasons I love going to thrift shops and yard sales. I find things that are weird and strange and unique, and I know that they're just going to be what the person wants. My neighbor was looking for a vise. Okay, I said, what's your budget? He said, $40. So yesterday, I stumbled on a vise at a guy who was shutting down a motorcycle shop. It was a good sized vise. All the parts worked. Needs a little work. It's a little bit of rust on it, but everything was there. It's all functional. And I said, "How much you want for it?" He said, $15. Good sized vise, 5-inch vise for $15. Okay, it wasn't quite vintage, but it's also not new. So I picked it, paid for it for my neighbor because I knew he needed a vise. He paid me back. In fact, he gave me $5 for going out and making the effort. I didn't. He didn't have to, but I said thank you. But I did it because I knew he needed it, and looking for the vise is fun for me. But if I give a gift to somebody, and I do this all the time, I'll just give something to somebody, and especially around a holiday or a birthday or something, holidays in particular, and they'll say, "I didn't get you anything," and I said, "That's okay. I said, I didn't give you a gift to get something in return, because if I give you a gift and expect something in return, it's not a gift." I hate the concept of gift exchange, because if you're just exchanging, then why? If you're both going to say, "Okay, I'm going to spend $20, you're going to spend $20, but well, just don't spend the $20. Just keep the $20 in your and go buy yourself something. You know exactly what you want." No, I want to give a gift because I like to give gifts. And finding them is a challenge, and I like it. Maybe it's my anal retentive attitudes. There's not one, but I keep a long list in my head of things that people like, and I try to keep an eye out for those things, and I find them. If you tell me you like something, you are probably going to end up getting a gift of that thing. So yeah, I wasn't happy with the whole Emmett Irene narrative that they were presenting on their podcast, that other people should show you a face that you want to see, that other people should thank you for a gesture that you make. And this coming from very intelligent, these people are both like professors, very intelligent religious leaders that I respect, really threw me for a loop. I was really shocked at that. So let's talk about making gestures for others, of not expecting others to perform for us, but feeling true compassion for someone else that you think is suffering.